Hi everyone. You might notice that this is not my typical studio setup, and that is because I'm actually recording this from a remote corner of Western North Carolina. We decided to take a little weekend cabin getaway, and we are near Linville, North Carolina. And it's just absolutely gorgeous outside. I wish I could face the camera and have you see it, but then I'll ruin the shot here. So just lots of beautiful autumn foliage surrounding us. We're in this gorgeous little house and just having a wonderful time. So I decided I would try something different today. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use the camera to make my self-portrait. So right now, as I'm recording this and looking up here, I can see my image. So that's what I'm going to draw, is this setup here. So my self-portrait is going to be a little bit different than usual. But I thought, since it's autumn and we have these beautiful colors and these cute little plastic yellow flowers, I would add a little foliage kind of paper to my canvas before I start. So I'm going to do that first. To adhere this to my paper, what I'm going to use is this gloss heavy gel by Liquitex, and basically I use this for all of my pasting and gluing needs. So to use it, I'll take a brush and brush it evenly on my piece of paper that I'm going to adhere. And then glue it down. So I always keep a bottle or a container of this gel medium around for any time I need to adhere things in my studio. Sometimes I'm actually adhering like big globs of paint to other paintings. And since this is essentially paint with no pigment in it, it's a great thing to use. I know it's gonna work. I know it's gonna hold. Something like Elmer's glue is better just to glue paper to paper too. And since I kind of don't like too many things in my studio, I just have this around. So that's what I use to adhere things. You want to make sure you cover it up when you're not using it so it doesn't dry out. Okay, so I am going to start with my painting now. I tried to line up this shot so you could see the colors on my palette. I'm going to use cadmium red, alizarin crimson, sap green, which is this nice dark color here. This is yellow, Hansa yellow dark, and then titanium white. And I also have some of this acrylic glazing liquid to start out with. This is a really interesting challenge. Okay. So a lot of times when I'm composing a painting, I will start with the primary subject matter and then compose everything else around it. So in this case, I started with me, and now I'm going to compose everything else. And if some things don't fit on my canvas, that's okay. What's most important is just that I have that main subject that I wanted to put in there. So I do this often when I'm painting, is I'll build the entire composition just around the main element. So that's something you might try doing as well. If you're not sure how to compose something, just start by putting that main subject or element that you want to do down, and then build everything else off of that. And remember, if you're doing something like this, you also have the right to not include everything that you see in your composition. So I'm going to go around the painting now and start to black in some of the darker sections of this. And you notice I'm not using black out of a tube. To get a dark value for myself, I will often mix my two darkest colors or three darkest colors together. In this case, it's the alizarin crimson and the sap green. So I always will bring some kind of art supply on any trip that I go on. Whether it's just markers, colored pencils, anything that's easy, even just a pen, some paper, some sketch paper, just so I can keep in the habit of drawing or making something. And I think it's also fun to challenge yourself by being in a new environment when you're drawing or painting. Sometimes we get so used to the same place, and it can be a fun challenge to try something new, try doing this in a new environment, and just see how that affects your art. So I'm putting some green here in the background. And you might be wondering, why are you doing that if the background is white? And I'm doing it because I'm going to paint on top of this with white or with whatever color I use for the background. And sometimes I just like to have a dark layer or just a different color layer down. Especially with acrylics, you get such nice effects when you layer your colors. So I'm going to start by doing this really dark, and then I'm going to paint with light on top of it. So it kind of looks a little bit like a mess. I'm going to call this my underpainting. So you may also notice here the flowers I painted red. And that's again to give it a nice dark foundation to build the lights on top of. I'm going to switch to a big brush now and just block in some of this background stuff. Okay. So you see, like, I'm doing a nice juicy application of light over that dark green. So from here, I'd say I have like the base done, and I could now go in and keep doing details. I forgot my small brush. So this is the smallest brush I have. So I might just keep it kind of loose. I might go in and do more of these objects on the table because I think those are kind of fun. So let's see. Okay, this has been going for 30 minutes now, so that's it. I'm done. I am going to clean up my station here and pack up my things, and we are gonna go outside and be in the foliage and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much for taking this time to paint with me. Till next time, bye.